Hi, I'm Colin and welcome to How to Paint Watercolors. So if you're ready, we'll get started and we'll paint this one. Welcome everybody to Painting Watercolors with me, Colin. I hope you enjoy this one. This is a picture of Lindisfarne on Holy Island, Northumberland. And I'm just leaving a thin film of water on the paper. It's going to dry off the Lindisfarne Castle. A bit round here. Just keep that land a little bit drier, a little bit cleaner. And I'll give you a quick rundown of the colours. We have Sinalia Yellow Deep, just call it Cadmium Deep, Nickel Yellow, Pyrrole Orange, Burnt Sienna, Burnt Umber and Cobalt Blue. And because I don't want to have too much spread on it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the Nickel Yellow, I'm going to bring it, scooting this way I think. Just going to drop patches in. This is a very small brush for doing this, but you can sort of lay it in a little bit easier. Straightforward Pyrrole Orange. There's a little bit of a sunset going on. And I want to take some Cobalt Blue, some Burnt Sienna to make a nice soft grey, bluey grey. Sure I've got plenty of it. Get this on. Just want to take this around the castle. Some of the Nickel Yellow. Some of the Cobalt Blue, and so I'm just going to darken this with some sepia or burnt umber if you haven't got sepia. Touch more blue I think. A little bit in the sea. Cobalt blue in there as well I think. Just getting colour in. Just creating a little bit of interest in the sky. And once I have that like that, I'm going to take some clean water and I'm just going to drop this in and allow it to push the paint. And then I'm going to let that dry. Once your sky's dry and your sea's dry, your first initial washes, I'm just re-wetting the land areas here and we'll just be dropping some colours in those. So I'm going to take some more of the Nickel Yellow. I'm going to drop it down this side of the castle in here, drop a little orange in, maybe just a little bit of some of that yellow, quite pale. And a little bit of Burnt Sienna, quite light washes. We'll be glazing over this with some colours, but right now I just want a mixture. I'm just reflecting some light off this Nickel Yellow here, and the cloudy sky, the darker part, should help to make this stand out. Just taking some of the Pyrrole Orange, bringing that in as well, just dropping colours in. Some of the Sinalia Yellow, but if you haven't got Sinalia Yellow, just use a deep yellow colour. Gamboge will do this. I'm going to drop some Burnt Sienna down here. Maybe run some Burnt Sienna along the bottom. want to bring a little bit of this nickel yellow in here, pale orange, some of the similar yellow deep. Just allow all these to mingle. Taking some of the burnt sienna, just drop this in places, and maybe I'll just have a little bit of sepia. There was a big wall here. I decided I didn't want that in it. Then we're going to let that dry. I've just re-wet the whole of this centre section again. You have to make sure that everything is completely dry when you do this, and I've added some French ultramarine just in case I need it, I'm not sure. I'm going to take some cobalt blue and a little burnt sienna. I'm going to make this very, very weak, and I just want to put some shading on, but I want it to be weaker on some areas than others. So I'm just going to drop this in as we start to pull some dark and light out, and allow this to drift over the other colour, and if you get it thin enough, the underlying wash should show through. As you come down here, it's darker on this back side. And just allow the paint to run through the water over the top of the other paint. Just again a little bit more. Can begin to just darken one or two areas. It's a little bit too dark, so I'm going to add some water to that. Don't mind it being darker over here. And I'm going to take some of the French ultramarine, pop it there. Put some sepia in it to darken it. I'm just dropping it on the outside edge and allowing it to run through the other grey colour. Just shaping it. Darken this over here, it's not essential, and it's just, don't want it too light. There's a little peninsula here. Mix up a little bit more grey. Taking a flat brush and just drying it and straightening it, picking up some of the paint, and I want to bring in some ripples, very small waves. I don't want these to be too dark. I'm going to take a little water and just brush the edges out on some of these. Don't want these everywhere. Just a little water there. Take some of the darker colour, we may have to mix a bit more. French ultramarine, a little bit of sepia. Just take the edge off it, and then we're going to let that dry. Okay, now that's dry. I just took some white paint and I just put some crests on top of these waves here, and just a little couple of lines in just to help pick out the castle, but not too much. I really do want it to disappear, most of it. And I'm going to put some grasses in here, and it looks into an autumn scene. And I'm just using an oil brush. I do want to just pull some out. just before it dries off too much. Just soften the bottoms in. You can put this on in several layers, so you end up with a lot of different autumn colours in it, which I might do. So I'm going to take some of the orange. Once again, softening that colour in. Could even take some of the yellow. Then I'm going to take some of the sepia, take some of the paint off. Take some of this and I'm just going to dump this in the bottom. That's really an easy way to put grasses on. And then take some dark paint, anything that's left on the palette. And this is where you get your Cyanide, mount it and frame it. I did put some birds in the sky just before I turn the camera on. I'll leave some suggestions at the end of the video for other videos I made for YouTube, but I hope you've enjoyed this one. If you have, please click the like button and subscribe, and please feel free to leave a comment. All comments are welcome, and I'll see you next time.